Okay. We can edit it any way we want, but
Well, I don't think any of this is going to get edited. I think it's going to be
it never does.
so profound
That was kind
and
of
so mind blowing. And
our
ultimately,
design had always been along the way. Well,
here's to coffee in the afternoon
and water.
and water too. Funny that it's been a big solar flash day for everybody today. What's today's date, Lowell?
20.
What is it?
24.
Okay.
24.
So it's the 24th. Oh my. Hello, everybody. Lowell's arrived from Berlin and he's been a guest in my home and he'll be here for a few more nights. And we're in Hermosa Beach. Catching up. And boy, what a
data
dump and exchange of energy. And he poured off the airplane at 6 p.m. and finally made it down here via Uber at 8. And I packed his gullet with homemade organic vegetable stew suitable for a vegan. And that was no small task. Let me tell you, we have a huge pot of vegetable soup. Best thing to do after you get off a terrible flight from Europe is to get some vegetable nutrients in the form of broth and well-cooked vegetables. And then that was a great way to snap back to reality, to sit in the garden and have soup together.
Absolutely. It was not, for the record, it was not a horrible flight. But
for me, it's, I hate flying. So
regardless, the soup was welcome after that.
Every flight's a horrible flight for me.
Sure. Okay. Well, you projected that out. I
put it out there, man. So it's gonna be horrible every time I fly.
Tethered it back.
Are you gonna edit this now?
No.
Okay, good.
Probably not. We never do. So we're gonna ramble a little bit. There is so much that I got to hear from Dave this time. And there's a grander design. So it's hard to decide what we want to talk about and to what degree.
Well,
because yes, Berlin is a whole nother subset of what is coming. But since I got here, you revealed something else. So maybe I should wait until the weekend and that kind of plays out in Shasta. And then we'll tell people how the hell we got there.
Damn. Of course, you guys will remember the interview with Patricia Shopey. And Patricia's a very enigmatic young lady who is also very psychic. And she works with a healing center on the other side of the United States. And Patricia is starting her own healing center up in Shasta.
Yes. And she was driven.
Such a wonderful, the stars aligned, okay? The stars aligned. And so Lowell's coming here. And I'm thinking, he's going to stay with me for a week or two, and we're going to hang out at the beach, and I'm going to get stoned and talk about quantum mechanics, and he's going to chill out and drink mint tea. Well, lo and behold, we get a text from Patricia saying, hey, boy, guess what? I'm going to be up in Shasta. Any chance you guys are able to go visit me? Well, I can't. But the call to go back to Shasta, of course, where this man belongs. He belongs to Shasta.
Apparently so.
Pick a cave and move in. Dude.
Here I go.
You're going to be my favorite troglodyte. You'll be a cave dweller up in the Lemurian zone.
There is purpose for me to be there, yes. And it's not like you'd have to argue with me to get me to go to Shasta. There's other things in Germany I'll be returning for. Maybe an opportunity to go do some things associated with this project that keep a lid on for now in London. So I'm going to be flexible. And in the meantime, I kind of get to see parts of the world that I was unfamiliar with. And remembering that I have German ancestry, this was kind of interesting that I hadn't explored more about. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. Berlin was great. What I experienced there was great.
Berlin's bitch.
Walk the shit out of it.
Good man. Yeah, it's a big city.
Kilometers.
Yeah, some ancient vibes and ancient stories. Fascinating place. Mm-hmm. And the people are so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to Berlin since 2005. Had a big wine tasting. And then also in 2007 before I left for North Africa to live for 6 months before coming home and opening this place up. So I was traveling around too. Today, Lowell and I were talking about a lot of subjects. We talked about physics and higher physics and quantum mechanics.
Yes.
And educational tools that are available to us through ultra high mathematic programs. And I've been talking about releasing some material And I'm excited to perhaps discuss with Lowell about him releasing my 4 15-minute dissertations about quantum hypertext, quantum mechanics, continuous light pulse flash technology that we receive from ships from other parts of the galaxy, how to interpret those signals, why we interpret them, and how our brain functions during the interpretation process of with receiving a light download. We talked about all of that stuff, and I went over loads of diagrams, loads of charts, loads of physics and formulas and equations. And I sat down with Lowell. We talked about the main 4 functions of the universe and existence, which are time, light, gravity, and sound. And we also discussed, or I discussed, why the grand unified theory is the wrong rat hole to go down when discussing the construction and the beautiful evolution of the universe in which we live. So whatever I was privy to, I was sharing with Lowell. A lot of this technology is not going to the government. It's going to go to the people. And it's going to be a book that encompasses both text of higher mathematics, but it's also going to have illustrations, and it's going to be the book of my story, what happened, and why I'm writing this new math language, which I've entitled Quantum Hypertext. Anyways, we talked about that. But then on a grander scale, we talked about ambassadorial responsibility and being switched on to what it is being an ambassador. Some people call themselves ascended masters. Some people say that they're through the ascension process and we've reached the epitome of the beginning of our journey of working ambassadorial people. Lowell is fulfilling that. Lowell's traveled to Berlin. He's been discussing very high subjects with a special group that we can't talk about, but Lowell will be releasing the information. It's fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to blow your mind, guys. And it's going to be available for everyone to go through and watch and enjoy. And then...
well, Triple, I'm here. I'll tell you this much. There's a TV series, and one of the main aspects of the narrative is the existence of inner Earth, that interaction with it. And that's how I got involved in the process. This was excuse us, it's in the neighborhood.
That's the local bus.
This was a process of for a team of 4 women that are a production team in Germany that have been making some, high quality films, and they know what they're doing. Writers and actors and coaches, and one was a therapist, and every one of them is part of the tribe and spiritually charged. So when Inner Earth became a bigger and bigger part of the narrative, paths crossed like they were supposed to. They saw some of my images on Instagram and went, oh my God.
Well, they're talking to Mr. Talos, and that's, so this is part of the fascinating arrival of contemporary topics that are extremely important about the continued spiritual evolution of mankind. And Lowell will release more information about it as it comes as and when.
TV series.
So I've got to talk to Lowell about helping me release my mathematics thing, and then he's going to be talking about his thing. But just touching back on being an active ambassador, when we receive information of things that we're supposed to share with mankind to help people feel good about themselves on a daily basis, and to wake up and to love Mother Earth on a daily basis, to pray for all animals and children, that we all have clean, fresh drinking water and clean air to breathe, and that all the animals are being protected, and that humans are being more aware of their surroundings and their environment. Humans are being aware of their dimensionality. Lowell's traveling around. He's gone to Berlin. He's here in Hermosa Beach, Southern California. He's got some work to do. He's discussing things that are contemporary, that are occurring right now, not in the past. We're not talking about other people's stories. We're talking about things that are going on right now, things that are happening last night, things that are happening today, such as the big CME that we had that was Earth facing, how that's affected us. I gave Lowell a huge neck rub and hit a bunch of chakras and power pressure points to help him release the flight and the 2 weeks in Berlin and so forth. But now he's going up to Shasta, of course, and he's going to meet with lovely Patricia, and they're going to look at her beautiful property
there,
and
so
they're going to touch, touch stone, touch paper, and it's going to go off. I know that these two are going to put their heads together and come up with some brilliant stuff. I know that Lowell and I will be putting together a healing package and an experience package
Oh yeah.
for 2024. And we're going to invite all of our best friends who are healers, who are communicators and contactee, and we'll be blessed by their company so that you can come and enjoy time with us over dinner, sit in a quiet environment, and talk to all these wonderful people that have a special message. And that's going to be something to work on over the next year.
Yeah. As often as we're there. Think of it as we'll be in residence from time to time, but we'll have a place and a space that's big enough to do that. And that's what we kind of lack. So when I look back at when I first went to Shasta and I was trying to figure out, the dust was settling. Clearly, I wasn't moving to Vegas like I had planned because, well, the pandemic had interrupted all of that in the meantime. And when we got through Shasta and the first experience of what that meant, and then I learned what I was supposed to learn the next year after that, and then this year here's one more aspect of it, and here I am 4 years later, and wow, what I got to share with Dave today, he shared with me, blew me away again, and I've seen telos.
Right. And, this is interesting. We are designed by design, our neural network, our brain's capacity, our mind's higher functioning abilities. We're designed as a species to accept information that's shared with us in a specific manner from specific races, from guides, from angelic beings, and from angelic spirits who speak to us. When we're speaking to the creator, the divine creator, when we listen to source where all love comes from and where all creation comes from. Spirit babies come from source, and they're born here on earth to have a magical experience of life. Human beings are a gift to Gaia. We translate Gaia's feelings. We talk about where she's hurting and where she needs to be loved and helped, and where certain things need to be stopped, whether it's environmental damage or chemical damage or pollution damage. We're acted this way. But what we're calling out now, too, is to say, look, we're all traveling around speaking to each other. All of you who are on the ambassador program, who have already been through the ascension process, are welcome to come here in Hermosa Beach to sit down with me. If you need to seek counsel and you need to talk to me about your experience being spoken to and being directed or being guided by extraterrestrial beings whom I call beyond Earth sentience, please reach out to me. Lowell on his cast will put my website up or my email address so that you guys can contact me.
You can always reach Dave through me too.
Yeah, and vice versa. If you need to reach Lowell, you can do that through my YouTube channel or through my email address, which is hermosafields1, the number 1 at gmail.com. And if you want to talk about higher physics and stuff like that, you're welcome to throw me a few questions and we can play questions and answers for a while. But we've had a really good catch up, and we've talked about some really strong experiences as far as higher cognition and mathematics and how our brain functions. I was careful to try not to overload Lowell with all the information that they gave me. And one of the little personal jokes we have is when people see species from other planets and they have such large craniums, they have large craniums, or they'll have elongated craniums. They need their cranium to hold their brain, as your mind expands and as your brain expands and grows, you need a larger brain and a larger cavity to hold it. So that's why their heads are so big. They are so smart. And it's amazing that some of us, when we get taught by them, whether it's mathematics or stellar cartography or something about emotions or something about healing ourselves, whatever it is they choose to give us that we're designed to receive, comes to us in that special way. You spoke to the people of Inner Earth.
Oh, yeah. I had to get away and find some quiet space. I had been in an environment where I couldn't get entirely connected to the higher realms I was used to. There was a distortion in my field that I just hung on to longer than I should have, regardless of all that. When I finally got into Berlin, and I was there for about 3 days, and finally everything had adjusted. You assimilate from the jet lag, and from just finding some space where you can be quiet. And when you do, and you reach out to, they've been waiting for you to reach out to connect with them again. The Lemurians have said with great certainty that they're going to be reaching out to make greater contact beginning immediately. So they're going to be reaching out to people whose vibration is going to match the environment that they're in. And we have been going through, those of you that are sensitive, yesterday, that solar phenomenon, and actually the day before, that's become a barometer for me now. I had observed the phenomenon long enough to make the assimilation between it, because I really want to understand if there's going to be some solar influence to us. Are we going to feel that? And I started to pay attention to it. So I held that space for all the rest. So here is kind of how that goes down. When we get solar energy like that, expect that you're going to have neck tension, because, man, that's just energy. You are nothing but a little capacitor, you little energetic being. And so that energy comes and it goes. And when the earth gets hit with it, she's not the only sentient being here that got hammered by that elevated photon energy. It's higher
crazy
spectrum light that we are taking, and it's preparing us to adapt for what's coming next. Earth is in the shift and she's ready to ascend. These are just the tools so that humanity gets to go along as well.
There's signs from Gaia all the time, and how she communicates to her babies, her wildlife, her animals. We can watch animals for signs that will help guide humanity to the course of action for things that are going to come in the near future. There's nothing to be afraid of. Remember that any big changes from Gaia are things that we must expect as living creatures who live and scramble across her crust. Whether she just tries to heave us off through giant tsunamis and earthquakes, if there's a convolution from a solar flash, well, that's okay, because we're part of the natural process of life, the cycle of life and rebirth. Remember that there's no death. That there's a continuance of your soul into the next higher realm, where we can once again look back and we can see who we are, who we were, and what the next step of the continuance of our soul is going to be. So whatever happens with all the stuff that's out there right now, whether it's professionally packaged up information about solar flashes, solar flares, micronovas, earthquakes, tsunamis, all the rest of that stuff, take it for what it is and listen to source. Listen to your heart and listen to the collective heart of the community. Find the vibe of your tribe, and remember that we all have each other and everything's going to be fine. Remember that everything is as it should be, and that thoughts are things, and that what we think, we produce.
I've been saying that for a while now. That's how you can get a hold of and control your vibration. You can do that, and it's more important than ever that you get a hold of and keep your vibration high. Don't let anything drop. And when it does, it's just that much harder to get to the space where, when you want to be able to connect with these things that are higher, I promise you that's going to happen when your vibration matches theirs. It's happening now at a greater rate, faster. The timelines seem to be accelerating.
It is.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we talked about time too and how it travels. But the interesting thing about this is there's no rheostat for feeling good, okay? There's no rheostat for feeling good. We can turn up our rheostat to get your vibration higher. Do you want to know how to do that? Get your vibration higher by doing something that you love to do, something that fills your heart with joy, whether it's modeling clay, painting a painting, making love to your partner, going out and planting vegetables or pulling weeds and planting flowers, whatever it is that makes you feel good, especially outdoors, get out in nature and enjoy Mother Nature, especially that spring is here and spring is in the air and it feels good to be in communion with Gaia. So remember that if you want to get that higher vibration, do something that fills your heart with love and joy. And that's the automatic way to connect to that special spiritual energy level. You can't just go, but you can go do something that you love to do, play music, making a fruit salad out of organic fruit that you've grown, whatever it is, man. you're able to create that joy and that high joy vibration and join the high vibration of being a happy person because you choose to do something that benefits the spiritual love and the spiritual life all around you and the planet and all the animals. I'm going to sign off. I think this has been a great
No, this is good. This
and-
was meant to be a teaser.
and welcome back to the United States, Lowell.
Thanks.
And Hermosa Beach, and we're rocking.
Yeah, man, this was
Fucking perfect, bro.
we'll be doing this again.
Next, Broheim.
Thank you all. Check in with us later.
Peace.